The night air bit at Eli's skin, sharp and cold like broken glass pressed against bare flesh. He curled tighter into the thin blanket he had scavenged from a trash bin weeks ago, its edges frayed and smelling of mildew. Around him, the streets whispered with the rustle of rats, the groans of old pipes beneath cracked pavement, and the distant hum of a city that never noticed him. Only 11 years old, Eli had forgotten what it felt like to be truly seen, not as a stray, not as a nuisance, but as someone's child. Hunger gnawed at him. Loneliness wrapped around him. Yet inside he held a quiet, stubborn wish to belong. Often he whispered it into the night sky, to the faint stars blurred behind city haze. Please, just one family. Someone to hold me. Someone to call my own. The night his wish was answered, he almost didn't believe it. A tall man appeared in the alleyway, wrapped in a heavy coat and black leather gloves, his face hidden behind a pale, featureless mask, with only eye slits and breath holes. Eli's first instinct was fear, but hunger and exhaustion held him still. "You're alone," the man's voice said, low and mechanical. Eli hugged his blanket tighter and nodded. "I can take you from this place, give you food, shelter." The words sounded like a dream come true, though the man's presence chilled him. Still, desperate children cling even to shadows if they promise warmth. Eli stood on trembling legs and whispered, "You'll take care of me." The man's pale eyes did not soften. "Yes," he said, and Eli followed. The man's home was not a home but a fortress, a tall gray house on the edge of the city, its windows shuttered and doors bolted. Inside, the walls were bare and smelled faintly of iron and antiseptic, as though joy itself had been scrubbed away. Yet there was food, real food, bread that wasn't moldy, soup that steamed, and a bed with clean sheets. For the first time in years, Eli slept warm. Days turned into weeks, and he tried to believe this was family. The man, whose name Eli learned was Marcus, gave him meals and clothes, but never affection. His voice carried authority, cold and commanding. "No questions," he warned. "No wandering." But Eli's curiosity burned brighter than obedience. One night, while Marcus's heavy footsteps echoed far above, Eli found the basement door left slightly ajar. Descending into the dim light of a single bulb, his breath caught. A woman sat chained against the wall, her face gaunt but her eyes burning with life. When she saw him, she did not scream. She whispered, hoarse and steady, "Don't be afraid. He cannot keep you. Not if you remember who you are." Eli's heart thudded. "Who are you?" he asked. "A prisoner, like you," she replied softly. "But I will not let him turn you into another shadow." From her, Eli learned Marcus was no savior. He was a tyrant. Clara, as the woman called herself, told fragments of her story when Marcus was away. She had once spoken against him, tried to expose his cruelty, his secret power. For that, she had been silenced, locked away where no one could hear her voice. To Marcus, people were not people, they were possessions. And Eli was just another. Yet Clara's presence lit something in Eli. She spoke to him of warmth beyond walls, of sunlight on fields, of laughter free and unchained. She reminded him that love was not ownership but choice. "You wanted a family," she said one night, her voice tender despite her chains. And you can still have one, not in him, but in the people you choose, even if it begins with me. Eli began sneaking food to her, hiding scraps in his pockets. In return, she gave him courage. But Marcus noticed. One evening, as Eli carried bread down to Clara, the air thickened. The door creaked open, and Marcus stood in the frame, silent and towering, the mask gleaming in the dim light. "You disobeyed me," he said, calm but thunderous beneath. Eli froze, bread in his hand. Clara raised her voice, sharp as broken glass. "You will not break him as you broke others." For a moment, Marcus's pale eyes flickered. Not anger, not sorrow, but emptiness, so vast it felt like falling. He reached for Eli, but the boy stepped back, clutching the bread like a shield. His voice trembled, yet he spoke. "You're not my family. You never were." The words cracked the silence. Clara lifted her head higher, her chains rattling like defiance. Marcus stood still, uncertain, his hand hovering between strike and retreat. In that moment, Eli felt something stir, not strength of body, but strength of will. For the first time, he realized he had choice. He ran, past Marcus, up the stairs, through the hollow corridors of the fortress house, and into the night air. He did not look back. When his breath finally slowed, chest burning, he lifted his eyes to the stars. His wish still lingered there, fragile, unbroken. Family was not chains disguised as kindness. It was Clara's voice in the dark, the laughter she painted with her stories, the love he promised himself he would find. His path ahead was uncertain and lonely, but the warmth in his heart burned brighter than the cold. For the boy who wished for warmth had learned, even in the shadow of a mask, even in the grip of a tyrant, the heart could still choose love.
Please subscribe and tap the bell so you don't miss more amazing stories like this.